Welcome to period 2 of our coffee roasting example. Okay, so the very first thing we're going to do before we do anything else is we're going to populate our beginning inventory balances. Remember, last month's ending inventory or last period's ending inventory is this period's beginning inventory. So I'm just going to take these balances right here from period 1 and move them over to period 2, beginning inventory. It's important to remember raw materials ending inventory becomes raw materials beginning inventory. WIP ending inventory becomes WIP beginning inventory. And finished goods ending inventory becomes finished goods beginning inventory. Do not get that switched up within the different processes, okay? The ending inventory becomes beginning inventory of the same part of the process. All right, so for finished goods, or for WIP, we had 3 batches and $450. I'm going to put in my 3 batches and my $450. And then for finished goods, we had 0 ending inventory, so 0 beginning inventory. All right, now let's see what happened. We purchased 150 pounds of coffee. All right, so I purchased 150 pounds divided by 10 pounds per batch. I purchased 15 pounds. And I know, and I'm not going to keep going back to the overview page. If you're having trouble remembering, you can always go back to the overview page. But just in the interest of time, I'm going to assume you guys kind of know where I'm getting these numbers at this point. Let me know if that ends up being a mistake, and won't do that as much in a future video. All right, so we know that our raw materials inventory is $100 a batch. So 15 times 100 is 1,500. And that means that our raw materials available to be used is 23 batches. I've done this wrong, haven't I? I did, because from period 1, I brought this number over. I should have done ending inventory, which was 2 and 200. Sorry, that's my bad. 2 and 200. All right. Gosh, that makes this a lot better. All right. So our raw materials available for use is 17 batches and $1,700. That is the most we can put into production this period. Then it tells us our direct materials transferred to WIP is 16 batches. So 16 batches, and I know that my raw materials per batch are $100. So $1,600 is going to get transferred to WIP, or did get transferred to WIP. All right, so now I still need to figure out what's my ending inventory. Well, if I had 17 batches, I had 2 in beginning inventory and I bought 15, and I sent 16 of those batches of coffee beans over to work in process, then I must have 1 less. 17 minus 6 is 1, and 1 times 100 is 100. Okay, so my ending inventory is 1 batch and $100. All right, so let's move to work in process. So the first thing I'm going to do is copy over what I calculated, or what it told me was my direct materials used in production, and it's 16. The very next thing I'm going to do is apply that direct labor, because as soon as we put those materials in there, we apply the direct labor. It's instantaneous, like the Flash. If you don't know who the Flash is, you can go to Netflix and watch it. It's my nephew's favorite superhero, so I've watched a bit of Flash. All right, it's not bad, actually. Okay, so 16 batches then get direct labor immediately. We know we're applying that direct labor is $50 per batch, so we take 16 times 50, and $800 of direct labor has been introduced to our process. All right, now it says factory overhead was applied to 17 batches, so I'm going to put 17 here. And I know that we apply factory overhead at a rate of $75 per batch. So we're going to apply that to 17 batches, and we get $12.75. So our total cost of manufacturing, remember when we're calculating this, we have to include beginning inventory, are $4,125. All right. Now you're saying, gosh, it goes on to finished goods. We got to finish WIP first. We do. Remember that we know that once we apply factory overhead, the product is completed and it gets moved to finished goods as cost of goods manufactured. So if we applied factory overhead to 17 batches, then we are going to apply, then 17 batches got finished, because as soon as we apply the factory overhead, it gets finished. And that's cost of goods manufactured is the batches we finished. All right, so I know my total product cost for a finished batch is $225, so I'm going to multiply 17 by 225. So how many batches could I have finished? Well, I had 3 in beginning inventory, and I added raw materials and direct labor of another 16. So in WIP, there were 19 batches that could have been finished, but we only finished 17, which means there must be 2 batches left in ending inventory, okay? So when we're trying to figure this out, we take our beginning inventory plus the direct materials transferred in. That's 19 minus whatever got finished, 17. That gives us 2 in ending inventory. And I know that my ending inventory in WIP, it has $150 of cost in it, so there's 300. So now I'm going to check the numbers, so I can just take my total cost of total manufacturing cost minus what got left in ending inventory, and that is the amount that I finished. I have finished goods worth of $3,825 that were transferred to finished goods. All right, so I'm just going to transfer this over. All right, so my beginning inventory was 0 in finished goods. So my cost of goods available is just my whatever I finished this period, which was my total cost of goods manufactured, which was $38.25 in 17 batches. Okay, so that's the amount I could have sold. I could have sold 17 batches. I can't sell 18 because I didn't have 18 to sell. Okay, it says finished goods ending inventory is 10 batches. So 10, and I know finished goods, I'm going to multiply 10 by one finished good batch is 225. So it's 28.25. So 17 I could have sold, but 10 I didn't because they're still in ending inventory, which means I didn't sell them, which means I must have sold 7 batches. And if my cost was $38.25 that I could have sold, and I sold $22.50 worth, then the value of that 7 batches is $15.75. Let me check my work. 7 batches times 225, $15.75. I am in good shape. All right, so before we finish period 2, let's go do our financial statements. So our raw materials ending inventory this period was 100. Our WIP ending inventory was 300. And our finished goods ending inventory was 2250. So our total ending inventory was 2,650. My sales, so I'm going to look down here. I sold 7 batches. Okay, so my sales are 7 batches times 10 pounds per batch times my sales price of 40 pounds or $40 per pound. So my sales were $2,800. And then my cost of goods sold was $15.75. So if I take my sales minus my cost of goods sold, I get a gross profit of $1,225. And if I take my gross profit and divide it by my sales, I get a gross profit percentage or a gross margin of 43.75%, which is exactly what I'm looking for. All right, I'm feeling pretty good about period 2. Hopefully this is starting to make sense. At this point, I would love it if you would try periods 3 through 5 on your own. Once you're done, you can come back and watch the videos to show you how I did it, or you can just check the answer key, which I'll attach in as well, just to check your work. If you're not sure you're ready to go off on your own, go ahead and watch the next video, and maybe you'll be able to work on your own after period 3. If you got to watch all 5, not a problem. But just make sure that by the time you get to the end of this week, you're really clear on how to do this, because this is going to be important not only for this module, but for some future modules. As always, if you are having any trouble, please reach out to me. Come to office hours, send me an email, call me, post to the Q&A forum. I am here to help you. Okay, so I'll see you in period 3.